Hello children, welcome to the channel Speak and Span Learning. Today I am here with the summary of a play written by William Shakespeare. Name of the play is The Tempest. Before the summary, there is a brief introduction about William Shakespeare. Shakespeare's father was a glove maker and Shakespeare received no more than a grammar school education. He married Anne Hathaway in 1582 but left his family behind around 1590 and moved to London, where he became an actor and playwright. He was an immediate success. Shakespeare soon became the most popular playwright of the day as well as a part owner of the Globe Theatre. His theatre troupe was adopted by King James as the King's Men in 1603. Shakespeare retired as a rich and prominent man to Stratford-upon-Avon in 1613 and died 3 years later. Key facts about The Tempest. Name or full title of the play is The Tempest. It was written in 1610 to 1611 and it was written in England when it was published. So it was published in 1623. Literary period was the Renaissance 1500 to 1660. Genre was romance. Setting of the play is an unnamed island in the Mediterranean Sea. Climax is Ariel appears as a harpy before Antonio, Alonso and Sebastian and condemns them for stealing Prospero's kingdom. Now we come here with the summary. A raging storm at sea threatens a ship bearing Alonso, King of Naples, and his court on their voyage home from the wedding of Alonso's daughter in Tunisia. Frustrated and afraid, the courtiers and the ship's crew exchange insults as the ship goes down. From a nearby island, Prospero, the former Duke of Milan, and his daughter Miranda watch the ship. Miranda worries about the ship's passengers, suspects that her father has created the storm using his magical powers, and begs him to calm the waters. Prospero then reveals to Miranda the details of the past, telling how 12 years ago his brother Antonio betrayed and overthrew him. With the help of Alonso, Antonio arranged for Prospero and Miranda to be kidnapped and set adrift at sea. Now, Prospero says, circumstances allow him to take revenge on his enemies, and for this reason he has conjured the storm. Prospero charms Miranda and she falls asleep. He then summons his spirit servant Ariel, who created the storm. Ariel says that he has made sure everyone made it to the island alive, but scattered separately. Then mentions that Prospero promised to free him from servitude early in return for good service. Prospero angrily reminds the spirit that he saved him from the prison in which the witch Sycorax put him. Sycorax was the previous ruler of the island, where they were now. Ariel apologizes and follows Prospero's orders. He makes himself invisible and goes to spy on the shipwrecked courtiers. Prospero then awakens Miranda and summons his servant Caliban, the son of Sycorax. Caliban curses Prospero and denies that he owes Prospero anything for educating him. To prove his point, he recounts how Prospero stripped him of his rulership of the island. Meanwhile, Ariel, still invisible, leads Ferdinand, Alonso's son, to Prospero. Ferdinand and Miranda fall immediately in love, but Prospero puts a spell on Ferdinand and takes him into custody. Elsewhere, Alonso, Gonzalo, an advisor to Alonso, Antonio, and Sebastian, who is Alonso's brother, awaken to find themselves safely on shore. Alonso mourns, thinking that Ferdinand has drowned in the storm. Ariel enters and plays solemn music that puts Gonzalo and Alonso to sleep. While they sleep, Antonio persuades Sebastian to try to murder still another part of the island become king Caliban of Naples. Encounters Alonso's butler Stefano and jester Trinculo. He mistakes them for gods because they give him wine and get him drunk. With Ariel listening in, Caliban persuades them to help him murder Prospero with the promise that he will serve them as lords of the island. While Ferdinand does hard labor for Prospero, he encounters Miranda. They express their affection for each other. With Prospero secretly looking on, they agree to marry. A bit later, Antonio and Sebastian resume their plot against Alonso, but Ariel again disputes it. Appearing as a harpy, he accuses them and Alonso of overthrowing Prospero and says that only sincere repentance can save them now. Alonso immediately repents. Antonio and Sebastian pledge to fight back, but Prospero soon enchants and traps them all. Back to Prospero's cave, Prospero gives his blessing to Miranda and Ferdinand's marriage. He summons spirits to perform an elaborate mask dramatic performance for the couple. Suddenly, Prospero remembers Caliban's plot to murder him. He abruptly ends the mask and, with Ariel's help, tricks and then chases off the three would-be murderers. In the play's final scene, Prospero, with Ariel's counsel, decides that rather than taking revenge, he will instead give up his magic and forgive his enemies. He presents himself to them in the robes he wore as Duke of Milan. The courtiers are astounded. Alonso apologizes and relinquishes control of Milan, though Antonio remains silent. Alonso and Ferdinand are reunited, and Alonso gives his blessing to the marriage of Miranda and Ferdinand. Prospero summons Stefano, Trinculo, and Caliban and exposes them to general scorn. Caliban curses himself for mistaking them for gods. Prospero then charges Ariel to ensure a safe voyage back to Italy for all, and then grants Ariel his freedom. The play ends with Prospero's epilogue, in which he asks the audience to applaud and set him free.